Hello guys, Techinthehouse here. Hope you're all doing great today. Please, ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn ready because today's live stream is gonna be amazing. We don't have only one, not only two, not only three, but five articles of news that are about text to actuality, and they are all of them very interesting and awesome. All very groundbreaking things that can change the course of the tech future. So stay tuned and we'll be starting soon. Leave a like and subscribe already because you won't regret it. And see you in a bit. I'll be making tests to the sound and everything, and we'll be starting shortly. Hey guys, we'll be starting very shortly. If you just came across this live, welcome to the channel. Leave a like and subscribe. Today we have five very important articles we'll be reading and discussing as always, because this is an open space for debate. And as always, feel free to leave all your thoughts on the chat. I'll read it, or if you are watching this video later as a pre-recorded video, please comment down below your thoughts. Let's have an open discussion. And we'll be starting shortly. Currently, you are in the space screen. Just a little more meat while I said... Sorry, just a little bit more while I set everything up and then we'll start. So, hello everyone, hello ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing great. Welcome to the 7th live stream. As you know, this is a brand new experience we're doing on the channel. We are doing live streams quite more frequently. Actually, we had never even done them in the past to begin with. We have started doing them now, and we're doing good so far. Not much people watching, but eventually this will gain traction. But regardless, the important thing is that we continue to do this debate space. That's what matters the most. And so today, we have 5 articles, as you can see. An article about how Apple has approved the first PC emulator on App Store. Another one about Apple's finally embracing Android's chaos. Something they have refused for a long time. A third one about Samsung's new image generating AI tool being a little too good. We're not sure in terms of what yet, but we'll soon find out. Another fourth article about how there's a new Microsoft Designer app which has arrived on iOS. And finally, last but not least, and I do have to say that by these pictures it just looks astonishingly similar to Canva. No, correct me if I'm wrong, but it does. And yeah, I hope you guys can see my mouse, my pointer probably. And finally, the last article, which is also on the title of this video, it has never been easier for the cops to break into your phone. A quick look into how FBI gained access to Trump's rally shooter's phone just 2 days after the attempted assassination. And yeah, this is like a mix of tech and politics. And I'm kidding. Not really. This is just a coincidence. A trending viral topic which has intertwined with the tech world. Please, this is not a political channel in any way, shape, or form. Even though we did post a new short about Trump's assassination attempt, but it's just a form of engaging with the current news panorama. It's a way of gaining traction, getting the channel into the algorithms, God's power, so that it gets recommended. That's all about it. We're not in any way politically related, and plus that video, that short that we posted, even has a disclaimer with all these that I've just said. So yes, this is the what we have for today, when we're starting with the first one, which is this one. Second, okay, here we are. And as always, all these articles are from The Verge. Once more, the the tech online newsletter, website, blog, news reporting, etc., written by week editors. And so, and I do not mean weak as in not strong, just weak as in from weekend. And so, here we go. Let's check if everything, and yes, we are ready to take off. After initially rejecting it, Apple has approved the first PC emulator for iOS. An article by Wes Davis from July 14th. So, UTM-SE can run classic software and old school games for Windows, Mac OS 9, and Linux on your phone. Isn't this exciting, people? Finally, after so many years of fighting and workarounds and CDs and all those things, jailbreaking, there is finally such a, I don't want to say obscure app, because it's not really, but such a non-Apple-like app available on App Store. Not non-Apple-like in the sense of not likely to get approved by Apple, at least for the past 10 years or so. But yes, here we have a change of heart, apparently. This is probably on the sequence of Apple changing their laws regarding apps requirements in line with the European Union laws and enforcements. But yeah, let's see what is this all about. But so far we can see that this is just a kind of a virtual box, but for iPhone. And of course, we do have to acknowledge here that none of these apps contain, even though they are seen as this thing that can be controversial and not allowed, they uh, like Windows or Mac or Debian or Linux or whatever system you're trying to emulate, it's not there in the first place. The emulator just prepares this ecosystem for you, the machine and the architecture and the whole virtual environment. You still have to buy the system itself, either the ISO or the CD, or to install it on that virtual machine. So there's no piracy here involved to begin with, as of this PC emulator in itself. So maybe there wasn't even a reason to not be allowed in the first place to begin with, but that's just my opinion. Please comment down below if you're familiar with the emulators. How do you see this? Should it have been allowed earlier? Why would Apple not allow it in the first place? Are they avoiding any type of restrictions? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I do agree. I do think it should have been allowed way long before, because does not pose a risk to anything, and phones have been now for so many years now, powerful enough to run these types of software. So yes, I'm very happy that this emulator has been allowed. I'm very happy that emulators for Game Boys and PlayStations have also been allowed some about a month or something ago. So I'm very happy about the direction Apple is taking, even if they just taking that direction because they're being forced to by European Union. But yeah, a change is a change, and I think we're all happy to see that. And so, coming back to the article, Apple has approved UTM-SE, an app for emulating a computer to run classic software and games, weeks after the company rejected it and barred it from being notarized for third-party app stores in the European Union. The app is now available for free for iOS, iPadOS, and visionOS. After Apple rejected the app in June, the developer said it wasn't going to keep trying because the app was a subpar experience. Today, UTM thanked the AllStar team for helping it and credits another developer whose KeyEmu TCDI implementation was pivotal for the GIT-less build. Okay, so apparently this app has been rejected in the past before and is now finally gotten approved. So, and just to give you so no, AltStore is the alternative store that has appeared and gained fame and traction after Apple finally allowed third-party stores to be used on iPhone. They are the same ones who got first the app to emulate all the classic games on their store. And so, which I do not remember the name, but I do know probably what I'm talking about, the purple one. The very famous purple one that has been, that made headlines in last month. And so basically this emulator of PC for the iPhone was rejected some time ago. Apple didn't allow it, and finally with the help of AltStore, they managed to get it to get approved by Apple. So moving on the article, as with other emulators on the App Store, you can't do much with UTM-SE out of the box. It doesn't come with any operating systems, though the app does link to UTM's site, which has guides for Windows XP through Windows 11 emulation, as well as downloads of pre-built virtual Linux machines. macOS 9.2.1 and DOS are listed in one screenshot from UTM-SE App Store page. So this is just in line with what I was telling you guys earlier. Basically, no system, no operating system is included on this app. So the app is as innocent as any other app. So and of course now if you have, let's pretend you have a Windows 11 ISO an image, of course you can use it here, and I think it will be awesome to run Windows 11 on an iPhone or something so. I mean, I wouldn't say useful, but so out of the ordinary. This, I think, when you're in the tech space, this is always something that garners your interest, and at least for me, it has always been the thing has made me the most excited about anything, like anytime. For years, I was always the person to use, the macOS tool bootcamp to dual boot Windows with macOS, or at the time it was macOS X, and it was always fun. Of course, a long process. Bugs and errors might appear, especially when you're trying to install a Windows version which has not been authorized for the MacBook Pro that you're trying to install it in, and the drivers are not there because Apple didn't make them, and it's like 2 weeks of work. But it's so satisfying to in the end have everything functioning correctly: the keyboard, the lights, the camera, the processor, the screen, and it's so satisfying. You're like, okay, I made two systems which are enemies or different file reading systems, everything to be working together in different partitions, of course, in the same device. It's always something so. I guess it's the adrenaline of having something that was not meant technically to run on that device running on that device. And it's the same here with this emulator. I feel like people will, at least on the tech space, probably as soon as possible trying to install all types of systems on the iPhone and the iPad. And so moving on the article, uh, okay, we have here the App Store declaration for UTM. Let me just see how much the article. Okay, it's the end of the article. So yes, let's read this. We still have plenty of time. Please do understand, I am not in a rush. However, we do have a lot of articles to read today, and so it's important we manage time efficiently. But feel free to write anything you think so far. Do you support these types of apps to exist? How do you find it? Are you the type of people to enjoy these types of, we can call it gimmicks, I guess, on the tech space? Please do comment down below. Let's see, continuing and handing the article. Here's the App Store description for UTM-SE. UTM-SE is a PC emulator that allows you to run classic software and old-school games. Supports both VGA mode for graphics and terminal mode for text-only operating systems. Emulates x86, PPC, and RISC-V architectures. Run pre-built machines or create your own configuration from scratch. Built from KEMU, a powerful and widely used emulator. Okay. UTM is also published on the previously called Twitter, now X. We are happy to announce that UTM-SE is available for free on iOS and Vision OS App Store and coming soon to Altstar PAL. Shoutouts to Altstar team for their help and to Apple for reconsidering their policy. Amazing. Amazing progress, and I will just read one little comment before we move on to the next article, which will be actually as well just as interesting as this one, which is Apple finally embracing Android chaos. Very excited for that one as well. Today's articles are, all of them are very interesting, and that's why I picked so many today, because a lot of things that happen. This is what's so fun about the tech space. In 1 week there's like 0 things happening, just Samsung launching a bunch of Apple copycats. But in the next week we have finally groundbreaking things happening. So let's see. Jab at Samsung completely intended. But please let me know in the comments if this jab at Samsung was not deserved. And so let's see comments. Okay, yeah, I agree with Tsuyo. Tsuyo says regulation works. This is a fantastic argument for more. Don't let off the gas. Completely. Jojo stands up, says, "Wow, I can run Linux on my iPhone. Well, it's time to be alive." Exactly. This is the type of excitement I feel as well. Like, imagine running Windows, I don't know, Windows XP or honestly Windows 11, which seems so fit for tablets and phones as well. So versatile. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. I can already envision people having Windows 11 on iPads and doing all sorts of crazy things. This is crazy. But let's move on. So let's give this article has ended, and moving on to the next one. Apple is finally embracing Android's chaos. And just so you guys know, I might probably, when we've done all of the articles, make a little break to go drink some water. Like probably less than 5 minutes break. But let's move on with the next article. This is by Jay Peters, a news editor who writes about technology. So, iOS 18's customization tools let me make my dream iPhone home screen, and I can't wait to see what other people create. Yes. So as we can already see by this picture, the odds say that this is an article about a new feature that came with iOS 18 that involves all the icons get colored by a color scheme of your choice, and this is very Android-like and chaotic in the sense that, and this is me predicting what the article might speak about, but at least in my opinion, it's chaotic because it is a mask that is applied without mercy. So there are even icons that look like they don't look good, and because it's forced applied, it forces that color that you chose. So, and that's very not Apple-like. They usually like things perfectly and would even refuse to launch things if the implementation is not perfect. But we have seen this trend changing, and yeah, they literally have been launching features like this. This is probably the third or that they launched that feels like it's not it's a undercooked feature. And let's get into the article. Okay. For years, I've kept a pretty spare iOS bug. Okay, iOS home screen. 2 or 3 rows of icons at the top of the screen, sometimes arranged in such a way that the app icon colors complement each other, and 3 apps in the dock. Because of Apple's resistance to letting its users muck with the home screen's look and feel, I haven't been able to make things quite as simple as I would like. I've looked at more customizable Android home screens with jealousy. I've had an iPhone since the day the first one came out, and while Apple smartphones have since become wildly more powerful, capable, and larger, the company has forced me to organize my apps starting from the top of the screen for 17 years. Yeah, yeah, 7 for 8. This is true. I don't know if you're an iPhone user. If you're not, now you know. For 17 years, iPhone users have been captive of a system in which they can't live. They have a set of rules they need to follow for the home screen. Yes, crazy. I know to hear that from the Android perspective. But is it true? It's just how it is. They can't leave empty spaces. They have to follow the grid. It is what it is. And now they're getting a breath of fresh air. And let's continue with the article. Sure, my home screen usually looked nice, but I've wanted options to add more of my own flair to my home screen that I see dozens of times a day. The types of tools Android users I have had for a long time, even if it meant I'd make my phone look worse. iOS 14's widgets were a step in the right direction, and with some Siri shortcuts wizardry, you could do a fair amount of gaming. This is true. I have been aware that, and yes, we are interrupting the article a little bit. I've been aware that with Siri shortcuts, you could create shortcuts of apps with custom icons. This was introduced, apparently here they say in iPhone 14, so I thought it was a little bit more ahead more later down the road, but could be wrong. Moving on to the article. But iOS 18, the dam is finally loose. As part of the new software update, as part of the new software update, Apple gives users some tools to easily customize app icons on their home screen. No jailbreaking or Siri shortcuts required. You'll be able to make all of your apps the same general color with the tinting tool, and icons can get dimmer when you flip to dark mode. You can also, again, finally put your app icons wherever you want, meaning you can make them easier to reach or rearrange them so they better fit your wallpaper. How did I use this new font? Yes, and interrupting the article completely. One of the things that ever since I've had an Android, I've always organized my home screen like this: is to leave a space in kind of the upper, not in the middle of the screen, but a little bit up to the top of the screen, but an empty space to allow you to enjoy the background picture you choose for your home screen. iPhone users can do that again because you can't leave empty spaces like that. They can fill the icons. Or at least they couldn't. They finally can. Shocking. I defend. I'm on the side that this should have been released a long time ago. And yes, there's not much to say here. This is not a new feature. I mean, it is new, but it's not new, right? I think you guys get what I mean. It's Apple new, I guess, which makes it new anyway. No, because okay. Moving on. How did I use these new fun powers? At long last, I could make my dream minimalist home screen. I love it. It's how I've wanted to design my iOS home screen for years. A few apps within easy reach of my thumb, with little less to clutter things up. Best of all, it only took a few minutes to put together. Let me break it down. First, I immediately made my icons, and yes, we are interrupting the article just to say that one thing that it's worth mentioning here is the fact that this will finally make iPhones not all the same, in the sense that this will disrupt the common image that we have of an iPhone, which is the image of it's gonna change. Finally, people can have different looking iPhones from an organizational perspective, and that's exciting. And to be fair and to be honest, this was already true when they introduced widgets. It changed that narrative. Yeah, it's very very welcome. And honestly, from my point of view, I believe Apple is already enough cemented brand that even they're so well recognized that this won't make a change in anything. But if they were to change those things back in the day, like 7 years ago, I do believe they would make it harder for them to create a recognizable image, just like the ringtone and the silence button, all those things that they didn't dare to change until now. If they were to dare to change them back in the days, it would make their path harder. So all I have to say is, well played, Apple, honestly. So yes, I will jump this part because this is just a man explaining the changes he has made, and this is not it's not oh, let's just make a summary. Basically, he's hid the labels on his apps, he's made everything gray, That's basically it. He created his perfect minimalistic castle for his home screen. Let's just read a little bit of comments and then we'll be moving on to Samsung's new AI image generation. And yes, I will do make a break for to drink some water and I'll be back. But first, let's read a little bit of comments. Let's see. Vulcan Gao says Android has had all these features for years. The only problem is that it's running Android. Vulcan Gao, I agree with you. However, I'm struggling to say what you mean. Is that's honestly that sounds like prejudice against Android, no? Because the feature is the same exactly feature, but if it's on iPhone it's praised, and if it's on Android it's demonized. No, that's the definition of prejudice, and that's very very funny. And I agree, that's true. The same feature launched on iPhone will be praised, and launched on Android will be demonized. We've seen this honest, even in between, but actually in between Apple and Microsoft the feature of to give AI the capability to become smarter and sharper. They wanted to give AI the possibility to read what you're doing on a screen, either by Microsoft taking a screenshot of your screen every now and then, every minute or so, and Apple doing the same. And on Apple, the feature was praised, and Microsoft it was demonized. I guess it comes down to the brands themselves and how much trust people have for them. But yeah, completely, it's true. It's both a defense mechanism of the human condition, but as well as prejudice. It is what it is. It is what it is. And so moving on, the other comments are not as interesting. So okay, so we have 3 articles to go, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe. We are not finishing. If you're just entering the live and you hear me say that, no, we are just getting started. We have still 3 articles to go. One about Samsung's new image AI generating tool, Microsoft Designer app's launch on iOS, and this last one about how cops broke into Trump's rally shooter phone. Okay, guys, I'll be making a little break because I need to go drink some water, and then we'll continue. And hopefully we'll do these 3 articles in a row without any more breaks. And yes, we are. Please do feel free to leave your opinions down below in the comments. And I'll be back in a bit, guys. See you. I'll send you guys to the post screen, and I'll be back soon. Hello guys, I've returned. I've had my glass of water and I'm ready to continue the articles. You guys ready? I hope you are. Let's go! Samsung's new image generating AI tool is a little too good. By article by Alison Johnson, a review with 10 years of experience writing about consumer tech. The Galaxy Z Fold 6 sketch-to-image tool is ridiculous, fun, and slightly worrying. And we have here a picture of AI nailing the right surly energy for this orange cat. I'll tell you my honest opinion. I don't think this image is anything special, honestly. You can even see that the tail of the cat is weird. This is clearly AI generated, clearly. However, I'm not sure. Maybe the people who have reviewed these pictures are not used to seeing AI stuff. Because if you're not used to it, you can be easily fooled. Because honestly, I was looking into it. I was expecting it to be fake. But maybe if it's mixed with true pictures, you don't notice the difference. But of course, let's read the article and take our conclusions later. Moving on. The pirate ship in Elliot Bay was one thing, but it was a little blurry bit that sent me over the edge. Samsung would very much like us and its shareholders to know its new phones are the AIest phones that ever AI'd, and the Fold 6 that I'm testing comes with a new tool called Sketch to Image. Draw a rough sketch on a photo or on an empty note page, and it will use generative AI to turn that thing into an image. I shrugged it off as just another AI thing when Samsung announced it on stage at Unpacked. But y'all is really good. So good that it worries me a little. Yes, I do am aware that Samsung, and yes, we are interrupting the article a little bit. I do am aware that Samsung announced this feature, and if I'm not mistaken, on Mr. Who's the Boss review about this, I think it was Mr. Who's the Boss who says that the feature is so good in the sense that it's of course it transforms your rough sketch into amazing art, but it is so careful and it doesn't change its soul. It still feels like something you've done it. It's not like a full-blown 360 transformation that from a sketch of a toddler to an artist like Picasso, but you still feel like it's your own, and it's something interesting. But I'm not sure if the article will speak about that part. But yeah, let's moving on. Give me just a second. Sorry. Okay, here we are. Let's see. Using the sketch to image tool in a note is pretty harmless. You draw something, highlight it, and choose from a handful of styles like 3D cartoon and illustration, turn your doodle into something more detailed. Your image is sent to the cloud, and after a few moments, you'll see a handful of options to choose from. The results are usually cute and fun. I took requests from my 2-year-old, and he drew goofy-looking dump trucks and school buses. Sometimes you get a teddy bear with too many arms, but nothing serious. Yes, this is the usual problem with AI. Expected. Strange tails, too many fingers, too many hands. It is what it is. But sure. But let's get to the interesting, the so surprising part. This is probably a truck that from our kid, the toddler. And yeah, it looks, that's what I was talking about. It's clearly AI generated. Look at the wheels, the back wheel especially. I don't know what's surprising about this, but let's continue. Maybe later down the article we find a surprising thing. And if you think it's surprising, please do let me know in the comments and tell me why. I'm open to hear your opinions. Let's see, getting back to the article. Using sketch to image on a photo is where things get weird. I see. And the world, okay, I see. And we're cutting the article, interrupting the article. So she's probably talking about a feature in which you draw a flower in a picture that had no flowers, and the AI is able to introduce that element on the picture as if it were there in a photorealistic way. That's what she's talking about. And yes, I do have heard that is amazingly accurate and credible. Let's see. Uh, Getting back to the article, I'm the world's worst artist, and this tool translated my very basic sketches into photorealistic images. The AI-generated elements are incorporated into photos convincingly, scaled and matched to the surroundings in a way that makes them hard to spot as fakes. That's how I arrived at the bee problem. I took a photo of a dock just south of downtown Seattle with some flowers in the foreground. Because they're close to the camera and my focus was on the distance, they're slightly blurred. I drew the world's worst sketch of a bee on one of those flowers, figuring AI would insert an in-focus image of a bee, giving it away easily as fake. Wrong! Okay, interesting. Let's see, here are the features. Sketch on the left, AI output on the right. Uh, okay, I'll be honest, I don't even see where is the bee. Oh wait, no, we need to move this, sorry. Ah, okay, that's amazing. Okay, yeah. You guys see? Sorry, something went wrong. But basically, give me a second. This. Okay, basically this dark dot here is the bee. It made it photorealistic and even blurred. The AI bee is blurred, just like the flower it's landing on. If I didn't know AI bee's origin story, there's no way I'd think twice about it if I scrolled past the image on Instagram. Exactly. I had assumed the photographer snapped the picture at just the right time and hung around waiting for it to fly into the frame. Things that take skill and patience. Not the case. In fact, I'm not even sure I'd spot the AI-generated content watermark in the corner of the image. Yeah, I didn't spot it myself. Yeah, it's concerning, no? A little bit. But that's amazing. But probably there are more surprising examples on the article I'm expecting, no? A Hulk bear. Yeah, that's very photorealistic. Uh, a bunny wearing a little hat. Yes, very photorealistic as well. This reminds me of Corel Draw, the editing app, which back in the days I used to use to in school to make these types of edits. I did make like a bird with some boots, and yeah, and it takes a lot of time. And this AI is making these changes and edits in seconds, no probably. So that's off to Samsung, I guess. It's amazing. It's amazing what we can do AI with AI these days. Yeah, let's skim a little bit over the article, just finishing because this topic is already. I think we've covered enough. This is basically just the writer expressing how surprised she was, but let's go over it a little bit. Where were we? The B. Okay, here. Okay. Sometimes the content itself gives it away. I don't think anyone believes I saw a massive pirate ship anchored in Elliott Bay or a giant orange cat in an intersection in West Seattle. But even when the images are so outlandish that nobody could mistake them as genuine, they look realistic. Yes, it's very realistic. Generally, big things will look obviously fake, but it's very easy to add another car to a photo of a busy road or a sailboat in the distance, and most people will be none the wiser. Aside from that AI watermark, which is easily cropped out, there's really no way of knowing there's anything usual about the image. How weird. I don't want to blow this out of proportion. Using sketch to image is entirely optional, and plenty of people will never even find it in the gallery app. This is true, I do have to say most features like these get buried in the system. Companies fail to advertise them enough and they just get forgotten. It has always been like this, either with Xiaomi's video features or Google's Pixel camera, editing photo capabilities, and Xiaomi can even change the sky, and most people don't know. Like it's crazy. These features just get buried and people don't use them. It's true. Autofocus B isn't going to undo the fabric of our society, but I do think we are in an increasingly weird place with AI. Sure, we've been able to add an autofocus B to an image in Photoshop for ages. Exactly. But putting this capability in the very same device you use to take the picture and distributing it is another thing. Of course, Photoshop and CorelDRAW and all those things are professional software. You need a person who has studied how to do it for a realistic way. Otherwise, it'll work. And here you get it basically for free. By putting this capability in a very same device, sorry, we've already seen this, The capability and accessibility of generative AI tools are outrunning our shared understanding of what might be real and what might be fake when you scroll through Instagram. Personally, I feel weirdest about this feature when I'm showing it to my toddler. He'll grow up knowing that, with the press of a button, you can turn a rough sketch into something more polished. Or with a trivial amount of effort, you can spice up a photo of some train wrecks by adding a train. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I have no idea, but I definitely feel the dissonance between how I perceived artistic creation as a kid and how he's going to see it. That's true. The new generation will believe that by mere magic software of computers and these devices, anything that we draw roughly can become a true thing. And they don't know that these algorithms that are able to do this were fed with the lifetimes of work of the previous people who could do these things by art and by their own hands. And it's interesting, but it's always like that, no? Just like math, think about it. It's like calculators. I am from the generation who was born with calculators already existing, so we didn't get to see how there was a whole, again, craft of people being able to do calculations with big numbers and by their own hands. It's always like that. I guess that's just evolution and progress. That's how it goes. Is it sad? I don't think so. I think it's just evolution. I think we don't need to hold on to the past because of that. It is what it is. I think we'll always be making tremendous amounts of efforts for them for the next generation and have to do nothing in that regard. But they will definitely do something else into something. It's just energy. It's not we this is of course my personal opinion and you're free to disagree in the comments. However, I do think that that is not something that is ever going to make the next generations lazy. It's just that they will have time available that they can allocate for other things. Just like our generation with calculators had time that was free to allocate to another endeavors. And it's going to be always like that. We're going to always get to workarounds and shortcuts to get more time free, not to get lazy, but rather to focus on evolving even more. I think that's just natural evolution. And I guess it's also natural to worry about that and to pose these questions. These are still very important questions. But that's my personal opinion. If you disagree, please let me know your, as always, this is an open space. Let me know your comments on the chat if you're watching this live or comments down below if you're watching as a pre-recorded video. So, continuing with the article, uh, none of this has prevented me from having a lot of fun with sketch to image. There's an earnestness about generative AI's output that's kind of hilarious. Like when I try to add a green monster poking its head out of Pudget's sound, and it interprets my drawing into a massive green polar bear with rippling muscles standing on the shore. Or when it turns a stick figure sketch into a life-size stick figure, complete with a shadow on the ground beneath it. Is the definition of photography changing in front of our eyes? I don't think so, honestly. Is our understanding of truth in images transforming at an unbelievably precarious time for our democracy? That I agree. Yeah, but also, I took a picture of a rabbit, and AI let me put a tiny top hat on its little head. What a time to be alive. Completely. What a time to be alive. And ending the article, Sketch to Image is available on Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6. Samsung hasn't publicly stated whether it will make the feature available to other Galaxy phones, but given the company's track record of aggressively expanding Galaxy AI to previous gen models, I think it's extremely likely to happen. Samsung has also committed to bringing AI features to 200 million phones this year alone. If a little blurry B is any kind of indicator, I'd say things are bound to get a little weird when that happens. Okay, interesting article. It is what it is. AI is gonna change things. We're not gonna get lazy. We're just gonna get more free time, which we can allocate it to other endeavors. Let's see some comments. Uh, I am on the side that I'm very glad AI came. Honestly, it has been such a lifesaver. It has saved me so much time, and it's crazy. It has existed for so little time, ChatGPT in specific, but yet it has saved me so much time since it has existed and since I've started using it. It's amazing. It's simplifying life, honestly. And Let's see some interesting comments. Okay, let's see. Leads T says, "I'm seriously bored of this stuff by now." Okay, interesting. Zeddy108 says, "This is probably the second reason I want to upgrade my Fold 5 for a 6. I saw this in the Best Buy store and I was blown away when I tried it out. The possibilities are endless when doing sketches, mockups, etc. It's actually really useful. Probably one of the coolest AI features that hasn't been discussed until now. Thanks, Verge." I agree. I agree. It's again one of those features that will get forgotten. It will pass just like another thing hidden, buried on the galleries options. But it is what it is. A foolproof way to detect with 100% accuracy that an image is AI generated, Loki26 is saying. I'm not sure if that exists already, but yeah, it would be interesting. But I think if the objective of AI generated images is to look as realistic as possible, eventually it's gonna be a race, an eternal or perpetual race. You know what I mean? Just like virus and antivirus, it is what it is. Or like security updates. There's always gonna be more security updates to make. You know what I mean? Perpetual fighting, perpetual battle. Okay, and let's give this article some rest and move on to the next one. We are two articles away from ending the live stream. Please, if you're enjoying this open conversation, leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot, and we will not regret it because the channel is all about technology, and we have a bunch of videos. Some of them have already gone pretty viral, and despite they we haven't had opportunity to replicate that feats lately, but it is what it is. The algorithm, the gods are doing what they're doing, and eventually you can help us reach the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is our goal for now. So, two articles to go. Let's see. I'm just gonna check how big is the last article. How big is it? Okay, it's not that big. Perfect. Because we have been going for, is it an hour yet? No, 50 minutes. 50 minutes of live stream. And I'll tell you something, if you're one of the people who've already seen other live streams, I have an interesting stats to report today. This appears to be, according to the stats I'm seeing here, you can see it, but I see it. This has been one of the live streams with the most views live, not views that were generated after as a pre-recorded video. Live. I see. I'll check this later when the last stream is ended, but this is what it seems so far. So let's see. This is an article by Tom Warren. Microsoft Designer app arrives on iOS and Android with AI editing and creation. Designer lets you create images, stickers, invitations, and much more. Okay, interesting. Okay, actually, I'll go over this one in full since it's such a short one, and then I'll say what I have to comment. So let's go. Honestly, before starting the last one, we'll have a break because I need to go get another glass of water. Whew, today, guys, it is gonna be a long live stream, even though we're already finishing. It was pretty long, but I hope you're enjoying it. Don't forget this is an open space for debate. Please comment everything you want to comment. No thoughts is too crazy to get into the chat or the comment section down below. I do want to have an open conversation for you guys, and I'm very open and always curious to know your thoughts. Feel free to comment down below. Do not have fear because it's the internet or because express your opinions. I'm very interested in discussing. Either if you're watching live or watching later as a pre-recorded video that you found while searching something else on YouTube and it just appeared as an interesting thumbnail, or you like the title and you clicked, comment down below. Don't hinder yourself. So, moving on to the article. Microsoft's AI-powered Designer app is coming out of preview today for both iOS and Android users. Microsoft Designer lets you use templates to create custom images, stickers, greeting cards, invitations, and more. Designer can also use AI to edit images and restyle them, or create collages of images. Originally available on the web or through Microsoft's Edge, Designer has been in preview for nearly a year. It's not generally available to anyone with a personal Microsoft account. It's as a free app for Windows, Android. Sorry, I just mixed the system and created Windows. Oh, Android, iOS. The mix, okay. Windows, iOS, and Android. The mobile app includes the ability to create images and edit them on the go. Okay, interesting. I will say that the design looks very similar to a Clipchamp. Don't know if it's a color scheme, but it reminds me of Clipchamp. Microsoft Design includes the usual text prompt for generating images. Okay, guys, this is just another AI praising. It is what it is. You see here AI avatar, and it looks pretty good, honestly. But it is what it is. We already know. Let's just look at some comments. This article is for us going over because we just read an article about AI, so why would we repeat ourselves? No. Let's just see if there are some interesting comments, and then we'll move on to the last article, the one and only, about Trump shooting. Let's see. Jewish death companies justify the investment in AI. Completely. No fanboy says, I can use Microsoft Designer with my Outlook account, but not my corporate 365 account. But not sure why it's for personal accounts only. No iPad is also a shame. Okay. Okay, nothing. I'll make Brody the boss. That reminds of Mr. Rules the boss. But okay. Nothing here too much exciting. So, guys, finally, the last article in the sequence of the new, oh, sorry, not new, it's not a good thing, but the little recent Trump rally shooters. The FBI gained access to the shooter's phone in just 2 days after the attempted assassination. In this raises the question, it's never been easier for the cops to break into your phone. Why? Dun, dun, dun. This is an article by a policy reporter, Gabi Del Valle. So, pretty interesting topic. I think it means no introduction. I think the odds are you were aware of what's happening in the United States and what has just happened in regards to Trump. And yep, this is just a spin-off of the part that concerns to the tech space. No politics involved. I repeat, we are not discussing politics. I'll go get my glass of water as I promised, and I'll be back to read this last article about this very controversial topic. See you in a bit, guys. I will send you to the space screen. See you in a bit. back. No, no, to cancel. And so we'll be back. Here I am back, and let's read the last article. It's never been easier for the cops to break into your phone. The FBI said it gained access to the Trump rally shooter's phone just 2 days after the attempted assassination. An article by Gabby Del Valle, a police reporter. Let's see. I've had my glass of water and we're gonna read the last article about this controversial topic. Let's see. Just 2 days after the attempted assassination at former President Donald Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, the FBI announced it gained access to the shooter's phone. The Bureau has not disclosed how it broke into the phone, or what has been found on it, but the speed with which it did so is significant, and security experts say it points to the increased efficacy of phone hacking tools. In a call with reporters on Sunday, the Bureau said field agents in Pennsylvania had tried and failed to break into Thomas Matthew Crook's phone. Thomas Matthew Crooks is the shooter. The device was then sent to the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. So, interrupting the article a little bit. So basically, the shooting was on 13th of July. When exactly was the phone unlocked? When did they broke into the phone? We don't have that information yet. Like, how fast was it? And was it some unorthodox method, or isn't it usually that fast? Was it an iPhone? Wasn't it an iPhone? We have questions. We want answers. But let's see. Probably we'll have the answers later on the article. Moving on. Continuing the article. Cooper Quintin, a security researcher and senior staff technologist with the Electronic Frontier Foundation, said that law enforcement agencies have several tools at their disposal to extract data from phones. Almost every police department in the nation has a device called the Celebrate, which is a device built for extracting data from phones. And it also has some capability to unlock phones, Quintin said. Celebrate, which is based on Israel, is one of several companies that provide mobile device forensic tools (MDTFs) to law enforcement. Third parties MDTFs vary in efficacy and cost, and likely FBI has its own in-house tools as well. Last week, TechCrunch reported that Celebrate asked users to keep use of its technology hush-hush. So as far as we can understand, FBI basically has both their own in-house tools, but it also can outsource it from third-party companies, which is a service called Celebrate, a device built for extracting data from phones. Capability to unlock phones. Celebrate is based on Israel. Interesting. Forensic tools. But still, we don't have an answer whether it's an iPhone or an Android, but I guess it doesn't make a difference anyway if this tool is as capable as they're making it seem. But let's read the rest. Hopefully, we have some answers to these questions. It seems reasonable to me that the field office there in Pennsylvania wouldn't have some of the more advanced technologies for breaking into mobile phones that they have at Quantico, Quentin told The Verge hours before the FBI announced it had successfully gained access to Crook's phone. I have little doubt that Quantico will be able to break into this phone, whether that's in a house or whether that's refusing outside help, like from Celebrate, for example. A 220 investigation by the Washington, D.C. based non-profit organization Upton found that more 2,000 law enforcement we'll be back shortly. Just where were we? We'll be back. Let's see. Okay, 220 investigation by Washington, D.C. based non-profit organization Upturn found that more than 2,000 law enforcement agencies in all 50 states and the District of Columbia had access to MDTFs. Gray Key, among the most expensive and advanced of these tools, cost between 15,000 and 30,000, according to Upturn's report. Grayshift, the company behind GrayKey, announced in March that its magnet GrayKey device has full support for Apple iOS 17, Samsung Galaxy S24 devices, and devices in Pixel 6 and 7 devices. So basically, as far as we can see, let's see, but is this the same tool or a different one? Let's see. Quantico told The Verge House before the FBI announced it had success. I will have to read a little bit because I lost track. Let's just reread a little bit. FBI announced it had successfully gained access to Crook's phone. Let's see. Quantico told The Verge House before the FBI announced it had successfully gained access to it. I have little doubt that Quantico will be able to break into this phone, whether that's an in-house or outside help, like Celebrate. A 220 investigation by the Washington, D.C. based non-profit organization found that more than 2,000 law enforcement agencies in all 50 states and the District of Columbia had access to MDTFs. GrayKey, among the most expensive and advanced of these tools, costs between 15,000 and 30,000, according to Upturn's report. Grayshift, the company behind GrayKey, announced in March that its magnetic GrayKey device has full support for Apple iOS 17. Samsung Galaxy S24 devices and Pixel 6 and 7 devices. Let's see. Pixel 6 and 7 devices. iOS 17 magnetic GrayKey devices full support. That is magnetic GrayKey devices full support Apple iOS 17, Samsung Galaxy S24 devices, Pixel 6 and 7. Guys, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, some people came into and disrupted the live stream, and now I'm struggling to keep the track of the text. I'm sorry. I apologize for the disruption. I will try to keep track of where we were, which is sad because this was the most interesting one, and people just came in and disrupted my live stream. When worse than that is not just my live stream, it's our live stream. So let me just see. I'll catch up from where we were. Let's see. So we're basically seeing Celebrate is an outsourced tool. We have another thing that is mentioned, McGrakey, also an outsourced tool with an exorbitant amount of money that requires to be paid. And it supports iOS, Galaxies, Pixels. Okay, they are called MDTFs. Let's see, which is mobile device forensic tools, and they are effective to get around tax companies. This is such an interesting topic. I might end up making a video about MDTFs. But moving on. Let's see, in previous instances of mass shootings or domestic terrorism, the FBI has spent weeks or months trying to break into suspects' phones. The Bureau famously butted heads with Apple in late 2015 after the company refused to help law enforcement get around the encryption on the San Bernardino, California shooter's phone. Earlier in the fall, either Apple refused a federal court order to help the FBI access the shooter's phone, which the company said would effectively require it to build a backdoor for the iPhone's encryption software. Uh, let's see. I'm sorry, guys. The stream was interrupted, and so now it's kind of hard to keep track. Let's see where we were. Let's just stop for a bit and analyze what we've just read. Basically, in previous occurrences of these, they have taken weeks and months away, longer time. This time this was made very fast, in days. Of course, they even asked Apple. Apple refused to give them access, and then they require, of course, no, this is sorry, this is what? Of course, yes, Apple refused because they would need to build a backdoor for the encryption, of course, because it's encrypted. Same thing, just an honorable mention, not honorable, but a worthy mention is that this is exactly what Huawei was accused of, like building a backdoor that would allow the Chinese government to spy on Huawei devices. What are the evidences for that? We don't know so far, but still, to this day, we don't know so far. But apparently, that's what uh, gave them a no-way ticket to being on the untrustworthy list and later the ban list and the kill list and destroy list and yada yada yada. You know how the story ends. The government is asking Apple to hack our own users and undermine decades of security investments that protect our customers, Apple CEO Tim Cook wrote in a February 2016 open letter. The FBI did have access to the backup of the shooter's phone that had been uploaded to his iCloud account, but the last backup appeared to have occurred 6 weeks before the shooting, hence the FBI's desire to unlock the phone. Interesting. In his letter, Cook claimed that the FBI had have asked Apple to modify its iOS so passcodes could be input electronically in what he called brute force attack. Interesting. Look at this. FBI, of course, it has conversations with Apple. That's expected, but such a request, interesting, and I'm glad Apple refused it. Apparently, the FBI may use different words to describe this tool, but make no mistake, building a version of iOS that bypasses security in this way would undeniably create a backdoor. Cook wrote. While we believe that the FBI's intentions are good, it would be wrong for the government to force us to build a backdoor into a product. And ultimately, we fear that this demand would undermine the very freedoms and liberty of our government is meant to protect. This is all true. I agree. Honestly, I applaud Tim Cook's position here. But still, of course, I can't ignore that still the government has their methods to open. It's not. This is not gonna stop them. It's just gonna delay them. The best scenario. Trump, at the time one of several candidates vying for the Republican president nomination, was among those who demanded that Apple cave to FBI. First of all, Apple ought to give the security for that phone. He told the crowd during one of his rallies, "What I think you ought to do is boycott Apple until such time as they give that security number." The FBI dropped the case against Apple in March 2016, 3 months after the shooting, not because Apple decided to comply with the FBI's request, but because the Bureau had obtained a break-in method from an outside source and no longer needed Apple's assistance. Reuters initially reported, I'm not following, I'm so sorry. Ever since people came in and interrupted the live stream, people who have no regard for anyone's privacy or respects minimum decency for any human came in and disrupted my live stream. It is what it is. It is what it is, unfortunately. But let's try to finish this. FBI dropped the case against Apple because Apple decided to comply with the FBI's request. Bureau obtained a breaking method from an outside source and no longer needed Apple's assistance. True, I remember this one. Reuters initially reported that celebrity had helped FBI break into the device, which the Bureau never confirmed. And Director James Courney and Senator Dianne Feinstein did disclose that the FBI spent around $1 million to unlock the phone. In 2021, Washington reports the Australian security firm Azimuth Security unlocked San Bernardino shooter's phone. Okay. San Bernardino shooting was not only instance in which FBI tried to compel Apple to bring an iPhone on its behalf. The shooter opened fire at Pensacola Naval Air Station in Florida on December 2019. The FBI asked Apple to unlock the iPhones linked to the shooter. After Apple refused, Attorney General William Barr said the company had failed to provide substantial assistance in the case. Apple, for its part, maintained that it produced a wide variety of information associated with the investigation and turned over gigabytes of information to the FBI, including iCloud backups, account information, and transactional data from multiple accounts related to the shooter, but Apple once again refused to unlock shooters' phones. This is interesting. Like, from the user perspective, we can conclude from this article that when we do an iCloud backup, we are in a way making our data more vulnerable, clearly, because it becomes easier to hand it over to, in an eventuality like this, to third parties. So apparently, this gives us the slight impression that doing iCloud backups is not the most safe wise thing to do in the first place, as it appeared in the past. So the FBI said it was able to break into the shooter's phone in March 2020 after several months of trying, and the Bureau invested Apple in its announcement. Thanks to the great work of the FBI and thanks to Apple, we were able to unlock Al Sharmani's phone, Barr said at the time. FBI Director Christopher Wray said this was done with effectively no help from Apple. Ryan Pfefferkorn, a tech policy researcher at Stanford University, said the Pensacola shooting was one of the last times federal law enforcement agencies loudly denounced encryption. That was over 4 years ago, and the technology on both sides of the equation has only evolved since then, Pfefferkorn said in an email to The Verge. Pfefferkorn said vendor and law enforcement agencies often gain access to phones by exploiting a vulnerability in the software that is running on the phone or by guessing the password through brute force. It takes a matter of minutes to brute force a 4-digit passcode and a matter of hours for a 6-digit one, Pfefferkorn said. In addition to the FBI's own house, there are tools available from third-party vendors, as with the San Bernardino shooter's phone, some of which are more scrupulous than others about who their customers are. There are serious human rights risks when technology for breaking into people's phones gets leveraged by undemocratic governments, yet those tools are widely available for the right price. True. So, what do we take from this article? Just before reading some of the comments, it's clear that no, and this is a fact, no informatic system is inviolable, unlockable. Each and every one is breakable for the right amount of time or for the right price. Eventually, you can get into. However, Apple so far it seems to have the process as hard as they can completely. We do see that iCloud backups kind of expose a little bit information, making it easier to be traced and taken in these cases. And I guess it is what it is. But yes, sure, this is something to think about. At any point in time, governments, of course, we're talking in America, but we can replicate it. This to every part of the planet, any country. Basically, it is what it is. Let's see some of the comments and then give this live stream as end, because it has been such a long one. 1 hour and 20 minutes almost. So let's just read some comments and then finish. I also need some rest. It's been a very long live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do leave a like and subscribe. You'll not regret it. We'll continue having more. This was the 7th. We'll still have the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th live stream. I'll be back with new interesting articles always. At different times, but with the same vibe. Let's see what people have to say. Oh, we have here what seems to be an interesting discussion. Mikey Roos 64 says, I mean, if the phone has Face ID or fingerprint sensor, you don't need to be alive to authenticate these biometrics, correct? I would say so. It seems possible that they were able to get into the phone pretty easily, physically, with the suspect's body available. Okay, this is true. Okay. I hadn't thought about this. It's true. My curious thinking is true. If they have the body available, they can unlock the phone. Let's see what D Thunder gonna be has to say. No, they don't need any of that to check. They don't have to check my comment above. They already have and had access to any electronics they want. Even if it doesn't connect to the internet, they can connect to the device with the 3 or neighbor's Wi-Fi stream. And bold 855 said, you're not correct in the least bit. Yes, I'm not sure what D Thunder was trying to say, honestly. But what Mikey said makes way much more sense. It's true. It's something to consider completely. It will be the fastest way to break into the phone, I believe. Okay, this is more of fights than interesting. Uh, let's see what GDRCH has to say. A simpler explanation is maybe the 20-year-old who decided to try to assassinate the presidential candidate, however despicable at a reality is the highest device security. Tech blocks tend to think every secret password will almost be the same password for everything. This true. Have not or variations thereof. That's very true. Statistic. Have two-factor authentication and have easily guessed passcodes. Not to mention that if you can't guess those, all you have to do is look up the person and kind of mirror a data breach is out there for pretty good clues. That's true. We'll see, interesting. So basically there's the premise that they might not have broken into the phone the way they say so, without just by using the body or just by basic data mining. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This is still an interesting topic. So thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a very long live stream, one of the longest, so I hope you enjoyed this open space for debate. Still leave your comment down below with your opinions, what you think about this, or the shooting, this thing of governance being able to break into people's phones for the sake of the better good, I would say. I don't know, that's what it allegedly is. And thank you for tuning in. You already know I'm taking a house, and I see you in the next live. Thank you for joining in. Leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for joining in. I'll send it to the space screen and the live stream will end soon. See you guys. This live stream will end in a few minutes. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Tech in the House channel. See you soon.